let's navigate to the Data Pipeline Overview page. Click on the Create Pipeline option. On Hevo, we can bring data from a wide array of sources. Let's choose Elasticsearch. We can configure a new source by providing the Elasticsearch connection details or load the settings from an existing source. For a new connection, we need to provide a unique name for the pipeline. Let's call it Elasticsearch Pipeline. We have to provide the database host name and database port number to connect to Elasticsearch. If authentication is enabled on the Elasticsearch instance, then we'll have to enter the username and password to allow Hevo to access Elasticsearch. Now, in Job Settings, we can see the list of indices available on Elasticsearch. Here, we can specify incrementing fields and timestamp fields to be used for change data capture in each of the indices. We select the indices we want to load into the warehouse. For example, we will select Logstash, which is a sample dataset of fictitious logs. Moving on, we select the destination warehouse where we want to store the data. We can configure a new destination warehouse or select an existing one. Let's select Redshift as our destination. The pipeline has been created. In a few minutes, all the data from Elasticsearch will start streaming into Redshift in real time. Now that the pipeline has been created, we can see sample incoming events in the Overview page. Here, the data includes an IP, coordinates, referrer, and agent. We have to map these incoming events to Redshift. We can do this by clicking on Schema Mapper. Observe how Hevo automatically detects the source objects and schema from the Elasticsearch source. Hevo intelligently infers the schema and data types from the semi-structured source object in Logstash. We can now map the data to an existing Redshift destination table or create a new one. Let's create a new table. We need to provide a unique name to the table. Let's call it Elasticsearch Logstash Table. We see Hevo also automatically scans the fields in the source object and suggests the closest data types to which these fields can be mapped in the destination table so that you don't have to do that manually. We can override the suggestions if required. The primary key is a unique identifier for each row entry in the table. On a use case basis, we can select a single field or a combination of multiple fields as the primary key. Let's select Hevo ID as the primary key. Hevo ID is a unique ID generated by Hevo for each record so that it can be aptly used as a primary key. Once we're done, we click on Create Table. Hevo shows what query will be run to create the table. We choose this newly created table for this schema. Click on Create Mapping. The data will start moving from Elasticsearch to Redshift. If we want to modify the incoming events in the data, say we want to extract specific entries in Elasticsearch, or filter data that should not be loaded into the warehouse, these can be easily achieved through Hevo's transformations. We're now on the Transformations page. Let's add a simple Python script to parse the user agent of all logs and encode the geographical coordinates. We'll parse the agent name and extract the geohash from the latitude and longitude. Using the preview window, we can test the code on a sample event and only then deploy. Let's test this. Here we can see the user agent properties have been passed and the latitude and longitude have been encoded. Now that we've tested the transformation, let's deploy it. Click on Deploy. The transformation will now be applied to all the future incoming events. If there are any errors, such as the destination not being available or changes in the schema of the incoming events, all such records go into a staging area called the replay queue. These exceptions are notified to you in real time over Slack or email. Additional information, such as the error location, the reason for the exception, the number of events, the stage at which the error occurred, sample event data, etc., are also mentioned in the replay queue. Hevo's replay queue allows us to see a sample incoming event to further investigate. Once the error has been fixed, we can replay just these events back into the pipeline without affecting the flow of the rest of the pipeline, ensuring zero data loss. We can skip the events that we don't need. Let's replay all our events into our pipeline. Let's now see how all the data reflects onto Redshift. In Hevo's models, we can write simple SQL queries to view the data in Redshift. Let's create a model and select Redshift as the destination. We'll write a query to view all the data in the Elasticsearch table. Let's run this query and see the result. The data has been loaded from the Elasticsearch source to Redshift. It's also very easy to bring data from any source to any data warehouse on Hevo. Head over to your Hevo account and move all your data seamlessly today. Write to us at try@hevodata.com for any queries.